Let me show you guys how I forced Jasper to cuddle with me. Come here. Hi. Hi, buddy. Hi, Jasper. Hello, buddy. Hi. So initially this question was asked for a Q&A portion of a previous video. However, I had to cut that entire section out just because the video was getting too long. But I recently posted a little segment to it to the Be Less Shitty Instagram page. If you guys aren't following, check it out. Find that you are more of an essentialist rather than a minimalist. Your thoughts? Why does it fucking matter? So I thought I would dive a little bit deeper into this topic and kind of share my thought process and also just hear your guys' thoughts on minimalism, essentialism, and labeling, in general. So, grab a coffee, sit down, let's have a little discussion right in the comment section, how your day's going, and let's get right to it. Actually, hold on, I think I blend a little bit too much into the background. All right, I think that's a lot better. So I can't believe I have to start another video off like this, but minimalism for myself is more about being intentional about how I use my time, resources, and energy into things that I care about, use often, and I genuinely enjoy. For myself, it's not about having a low number of things. Sure, I declutter things and get rid of things, but the end purpose of that is to be more intentional and to remove the distraction. It's not because I just need one pair of shoes for 30 different occasions. Also, minimalism for myself isn't about the art movement or the aesthetic. I think a big problem comes with apartment tours, and minimalistic apartment tours on YouTube, for the majority of the part, focus on the look and aesthetic of minimalism, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think when people hear about the lifestyle of minimalism versus the aesthetic of minimalism, some people might get a little bit confused. You can absolutely be, practicing minimalism, but still have purple walls and polka dots. And it also doesn't help that I also wear a lot of neutral tones and basic colors, and people just assume that my definition of minimalism is the aesthetic of minimalism, which if you look at my apartment, it's pretty like typical traditional minimalist YouTuber, but I just dress this way purely because I don't know how to dress myself properly, and if I were to wear loud punchy colors and bold patterns, I would just look like an absolute fool. But you can be an absolute lifestyle minimalist and wear fucking purple polka dots. I just can't rock that. But if that's you, you do you. So now that we have a rough guideline of how I define minimalism and how I utilize it, let's talk about why I don't necessarily call myself a minimalist. Whenever you identify something, there are inherent limitations and restrictions with that identification. For example, a triangle is a shape with 3 sides. A square is a shape with 4 equal sides. I personally don't feel any type of gain or satisfaction by labeling myself something, and it's not coming from a place of, oh, I'm such a snowflake, precious millennial, you can't label me by your social standards, oh, I'm so unique, oh. It's not that. It's just more so like, who the fuck cares what I call myself? In one vlog, I'm eating eggs, so people say, oh, he must be vegetarian. And then in another vlog, I'm eating salmon, so people think, oh, he must be pescatarian. In one vlog, I mentioned how I skip breakfast and eat a little bit later. People say I do intermittent fasting. And in another vlog, I make breakfast in the morning and eat it. And people say that I practice intuitive eating. I talk about minimalism and intentionality in one video, so people label me as a minimalist. And then in one video, I show my 20 shirts and people label me as, you're more of an essentialist. Like, what? Who the fuck cares? One of the few times where I think labels actually matter is when there is, let's say, an inherent danger to somebody. Let's say food ingredient labels, allergen warnings. Sure, yeah, peanut allergy labels, very, very important. But also when it comes to people, when I was taking my kinesiology degree, I took a adaptive physical activity class, and we learned how certain groups who are marginalized and vulnerable don't get the proper funding or resources they need because of issues with labeling and classifications of their disease or disability. So yeah, when you're talking about vulnerable sectors and marginalized groups of populations, labels can actually make a huge difference. But let's be honest, like minimalist, essentialist, we're all talking from privilege. Like we are so fucking privileged to be able to choose to live with less and to be more intentional. If you're homeless, I promise you that's one of the last things you're thinking of. We actually have the capacity to choose and to be intentional. Now, I also understand that because I do create content online, it's very important for me to accurately represent the content that I produce with accurate titles and description, but it's not like I am actively trying to deceive people into thinking like, oh, they think I'm a minimalist, but I'm actually an essentialist. Hoo, I got him. You know, if I was actively misleading people and all of my titles were incorrect and clickbait, people wouldn't be coming back. I understand if I was talking about preaching minimalism and then every other video is like 100 things you need on Amazon right now, and it's like fucking plastic containers for pop cans. It's like, you know what I mean? You know, there's a reason why people are coming back to my content, and I think a big reason for that is because it is very relatable and it's not misleading. Minimalism for myself isn't necessarily a lack of, but more so an increase in intentionality. So I hope that kind of addressed the question regarding labels, whether I'm a minimalist or essentialist. At the end of the day, this channel is just about being less shitty, whether that means having one vegetarian meal per week, or maybe having one more glass of water per day, or going a little bit on a walk, or switching to a reusable bag, or just doing whatever, you know, just taking that one small step over a long time through many people can make a big difference. If we all just trying to be a bit less shitty instead of being perfect, then I think we're gonna do, you know, we're gonna do all right. Let's go bug Jasper some more. Hi, buddy. Hello. Hi. Jasper, what are your thoughts on labels? Like, what if somebody labeled you as a fish? And you're clearly not a fish. How would you feel? I don't know. It's just so stupid. I think people really define themselves as like the prime of something, and if somebody else does it a little bit differently, then they are either not what they thought they are because they don't align with their set of values. Where there's all this like competition and judgment come from? What is life? I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into it, but you know what I mean? Like, why does it matter what some other person halfway across the world is doing and how they're practicing something, as long as I'm not like, you know, telling you guys to kick babies and kill puppies? Like, you know what I mean? Just relax. Anyways, I'm just gonna end the video off here. I really want to hear your guys' thoughts on, you know, just labels, and if you think it's important when it comes to just living a more intentional life. At the end of the day, does it really matter? You tell me. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends and family. I'm pretty sure I said this part, but remember to be less shitty. Jasper, give me a goodbye boop. 3, 2, 1, boop.